what you'll notice with organizations when they come under fire, definitely ones that are tied to social movements and preferences and what have you. Of course, they'll say that if you're critical of them, then you are critical of their little social preference, right? So this is why you hear race cards applied all the time. You hear sexism or something like that because they want to throw it on as a shield. That's one tactic that you'll see, but another one that often gets overlooked is you can call it gaslighting, but I think it's a little more in depth than that, because what they do is they create a straw man out of the other person's or groups of people's main criticism. And even if someone does make that particularly bad criticism, they'll hyper-emphasize that as if that's the general argument or position that people have. So in this case, and what we're talking about with Patrisse Cullors and Cullors with Black Lives Matter and the criticism of her getting the properties and stuff, the angle that she attempts to take it is in an angle that most people aren't even taking it with the criticism, which is why she doesn't really address that specific point. Let's watch, just, we want to watch more of this as she's talking about her whole instance with Black News Network or whatever. What is it? Black News whatever, with Mark Lamont Hill.
So many other Black people and Black women particularly that take care of their families, take care of their loved ones.
And again, like, that's what I'm talking about, is that she's acting as if people have, and her critics have, an issue with her taking care of her families. We're gonna keep talking, but hold on.
Especially when they're in a position to.
That's an important point, because again, when we look at the New York Post cover, the first thing they say is that you went on a spending binge, right? Which is itself a kind of coded language. They say that you have these homes in California, there's a home in Atlanta, and that you were considering a home in a neighborhood where Tiger Woods was looking, or some other famous celebrity. So if I'm understanding you correctly, you're saying the 4 homes are true. It's true that you have those homes, but you're using them to support other family and people you care about.
That's exactly right. And I just want to make it really clear, I haven't been to the Bahamas since I was 15 years old on a dance trip when I danced on the Big Red Boat. So I don't know where that lie came from.
There's also a question.
So again, going back to the point, the main criticism is not that you are wanting to take care of your family. That's simply not the case.
Right. The right-wing media has made certain critiques of you that you're spending and you're buying. And there's an argument to be made that this is absolutely about misogynoir. They don't want Black women to have anything.
Like, it's just bizarre. So you're getting a mix of the 2 points that I just made, right? Fake criticism that most people aren't making, and then again tie that to the racial aspect or the sexist aspect, as if people have an issue with you being Black and having wealth or having buying houses. That's not the criticism. That's not the criticism, and he knows that. He knows that, by the way. He's not oblivious to that. It's that these types have to sit up here and make up fake phantom positions that most people aren't even making, man. But they'll make it about that. Let's continue on.
Also a critique, though, from the left that would say, if you are a trained Marxist, if we're talking about
this is the important part,
radical politic, that extravagant homes of any sort or multiple properties of any sort is itself contradictory to the ideology that you hold. And so it's not about having money per se, but that it's about...
And you see how he tries to make the position like he's saying, well, some people on the left said, no. That's the position that her main critics were making, right? That was the critics that don't act like, oh, what a better argument's coming from the left. No, that was the main criticism of folks like myself, right? It ain't that you make money. It ain't that you want to put your family in nice spots. That wasn't what the position that the argument was. It was the fact you bragged about being a trained Marxist. Okay? So of course, yes, there's that aspect of You are a founder of this organization that's made millions of dollars. You make a claim that you've never gotten a salary. So apparently the money never got laundered to you. Okay, let's accept that as true. Let's accept that as true. That doesn't change the fact that you are this trained Marxist. You and your organization have these concepts in which you demonize wealth, right? Now that's not just a Marxist position. It's your organization's position, be it tying it to white patriarchy bullcrap or whatever. That's antithetical to you purchasing not only homes where you purchased them, but in the event that you did. That's what's contradictory. It's if you were an admitted like free marketer or a capitalist, nobody's gonna be like, yeah, well, we got a problem with that. That's not the issue. That's not the main criticism, bro. But how Mark Lamont Hill slickly tries to make it seem like, well, those are coming from the left. Like, not to say that they ain't people that are gonna look at that on their side, but right wing media. It's always the left that has to make the better argument.
Or about property per se, but it's about there being a potential contradiction between your expressed politics and your lived practice.
Sure. And I think that is a critique that is wanting. And I say that because the way that I live my life is in direct support to Black people, including my Black family members.
See, notice that they don't apply that same logic to other folks that are not leftists, that are Black, that do like that, you know, are openly wealthy or you know, are advocate for free markets, right? Right? It's, oh, I go do something right. These fools on the left will call me fake Black person, all kinds of stuff. Right? Because I obviously value private property rights being the lead portion of my philosophy in terms of what it is that I adopt. Am I not taking care of my Black family when I do that? When I advocate for capitalism, I'm not taking care of my Black family, wife Black, family Black, mama Black, the lady Ripper's mama's Black. Oh, no, that just applies to you, so you make it okay for you to do what you demonize other people for doing.
First and foremost. And
what a cop-out.
So many Black folks who are able to invest in themselves and their community, they choose to invest in their family. And that's what I've chosen to do.
And there's nothing wrong with that. That wasn't even it. Let's see if Mark lets her make it without answering the question.
I have a child. I have a brother that has severe mental illness that I take care of. I support my mother, and I support many other family members of mine. And so I see my money as not my own. I see it as my family's money as well. And I want to also speak to...
Yeah, man. I'm pretty sure every person that has money says a similar thing. Well, most people, or maybe a significant amount of them.
Black Lives Matter and the money that
she's trying to make it seem like, well, it's different when I do it. Like, you don't think other rich people lace up their family and do what they do with their family in mind? Are you
necessarily raise money that was given to us last summer? Mark, the minute we started to receive funding, I looked at my team and I said, we have to get these dollars out the door. Now that Black Lives Matter has money, we have to be a grant-making body as well as a think tank, act tank, and an amplifier. And so, so much of the work that BLM specifically has done has been reinvesting into Black communities. We launched a survival fund where we gave nearly $3 million to 1,000 Black folks across the country. We have committed to $27 million to Black-led organizations, not just our chapters across.
That's the part that where a lot of maybe some people would disagree with me. I believe if your money is going to other organizations, particularly, and then certainly which are just middlemen and women when it comes to giving that money to individuals, your money just got pissed away. I'm just telling you straight up.
The country, that is like a quarter of our budget is going back into the community. And then
That means 75% of the budget isn't. Did I understand that correctly? Let me hold up.
quarter of our budget is going to Black-led organizations, not just our chapters, across the country. That is like a quarter of our budget is going back into the community. And
I hope I'm not misunderstanding that she's saying basically the vast 3/4 of it isn't. I hope that's not what she's saying, and she's just saying that 25% is just going into that specific thing.
And then also, we have to build an organization. It's the first time we've ever had real dollars, and we have to build a Black institution that can challenge policing, that can take care of Black communities. The whole point of these articles and these recent attacks against me are to discredit me, but also to discredit the movement. And we have to.
Which I don't disagree with that. I would say that I think your movement and your organization is discredited on its own with other aspects that, I mean, I guess you can look at this as the icing on the cake or the cherry on top. But I won't disagree with what she just said.
Stay focused. We have to stay focused on white supremacy. I am not a white supremacist. I am not a tech billionaire. I am not the
just a millionaire.
Catholic Church.
I'm not sure what the hell the Catholic Church got to do with anything.
Acquiring land everywhere. I am a single Black woman who is supporting my family.
I thought she was married. Nah, I'm not even touching that. I ain't touching that.
And supporting my community. And I want to continue to do that. And I need to be able to do that. And I need people to see through the lies.
All right, so before Mark speaks, she never answered the question, right? Just to be clear, that was a long-winded way to say Black Lives Matter is an organization that does good. The original question was pertaining to people that make the argument, though Mark says it comes from the left, that you and your property purchases are antithetical to your Marxism. She never answered that question. She never answered that question. Okay? Let's see if Mark actually puts his feet down, as a journalist would generally do, the one that's not a fake one, and say, well, that wasn't what I asked you. Do you mind expanding on this particular subject?
You've talked about funding and receiving funding and how the money's being distributed, and we're going to go there because for every right-wing criticism that...
So he didn't. I got my answer that he didn't. He didn't even buy. He just went on to the next subject. So he didn't. Mark Lamont Hill let her make it by the main criticism that a lot of people have is that you got this socialistic Marxist. This is what it came out your mouth. It was her mouth that it came out of. The whole we're trained Marxists. It was her mouth that it came out of. Okay, it was literally the same person, not the organization. It was her that said that. She never answered the question. He didn't even bother to make sure she answered it.
Is of BLM and of you. There are also criticisms from within the movement that we also want to take seriously that I am going to bring up after the break. But before we get there, I want to talk about you. Because when you look on the cover of the New York Post or you look on the internet and people...
Not interested. I'll maybe finish that for another video or segment or something like that. The main criticism, they just glossed right over it. That's what I'm talking about when dealing with leftist types, bro. And this is why it's impossible to have honest arguments with them. You just sat there and when it came to this whole instance, the main criticism, right? The main criticism is you are head of an organization that has brought in millions of dollars. You yourself have been making purchases that account for millions of dollars. You said that you was a trained Marxist. Seems to be antithetical. That's the main position. Mark, albeit trying to act like it was his colleagues that made the argument, right? And right wing, which is basically anybody to the right of them. Right wing people, they were just mad that a black person black woman had wealth or because of reasons. That's whatever. Main criticism went unaddressed and they glossed right over it. But they are going to make it seem like the main criticism is that you are a black person, you are a woman, and you have money, and people have issue with that. It's bullshit. But another example of what I always say. You just watched a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake. Catch us live at 12 p.m. throughout the week over at youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and follow us over at odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. If you want to watch the entire video cast after the show is over, just be sure to become a member on the YouTube channel. Of course, the full audio portion of the podcast is available for free on all major digital platforms, or just visit forcanonsake.com.